Hello everyone, this is Coral Consciously Interviews, and this afternoon, I'm recording and interviewing, I would call him a guitarist extraordinaire. He's world renowned. His name, of course, is Ivan Christie. I think there's very few artists that he has not played with. There's very few stages that he has not graced. Before we get into himself, Ivan Christie, I'm just reading a list of some of the names. So we've got Sandra Cross. He's worked with Sylvia Teller, Peter Hunningale, Carol Thompson, Janet Kay, Vincent Knapp, Vivian Jones, Trevor Waters, and the Investigators. But I know I've seen him on other stages with other names. So this is just a few, just to give you an idea of the caliber of his abilities and how well he is regarded. So Ivan, welcome. Nice to see you.
Yes, hello, welcome.
I mean, usually with Ivan, I'll tell you about Ivan and me, we usually say hi and bye. How are you? And then he goes and I go and that's it. And then I've had the privilege of helping him promote his, what do we call it? An album? Yeah, album. Yeah, instrumental album. Yeah. I personally have not promoted an instrumental album. You're the only one. And I think that was a really good move. Mm-hmm. That was with Stingray, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, so that was, even before I started promoting, it was well received anyway. So it's still going strong. There's so much to choose from. That's why so many different songs, different styles of reggae as well. So Ivan, I'm going to stop talking now. You can start by telling us about Ivan Christie, where he was born, where he comes from, how his childhood was. You go.
Well, I was born and raised here in the UK.
Okay.
And in terms of music, that was introduced to me by my father. My father played guitar.
Okay.
And I have a musical background. So my father played guitar. When I was around about the age of 6 or 7, my dad put the guitar in my lap and put my fingers on the strings and gave me my first guitar lessons. So that's how I started with the guitar. Basically, my dad passing his knowledge on to me. Yeah. And I played at school in the orchestra, but also had a band at school called Decisions.
Okay.
I also, at the between ages of like 13 to 16, 17, I also used to frequently play at church, in a church band as well. Right. So I developed my hearing, playing by ear. I developed that from playing in church and also playing in, listening to records and learning off records. So
I just wanted to ask, why did your dad choose the guitar? My son, he's a pianist. I chose the piano. But no, actually his dad is a pianist as well. So maybe that's why. But usually people start off on the piano, don't they? They start off learning all the...
My dad did play keyboards too.
Okay.
He used to play keyboard as well. You know? So he used to play piano, and he was trained back in Jamaica and piano and guitar. So guitar is one he decided to pursue.
Okay. So, and he passed it on to you?
Yes.
He passed it on to you. So where in London were you born?
I was born in Hammersmith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You were born in?
Hammersmith.
Oh, right. Sorry, I thought you said Handsworth for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. So, all right. If you don't mind me saying, you do have an accent. So, did you spend a long time in Jamaica?
I frequent Jamaica very often.
Yeah. Okay. So, where are your family based in Jamaica?
Same time.
All right.
Same time.
Yeah. There's a few artists that have come out of a few musical people.
I mean, there's Bob Marley, I think Jacob Miller. There's quite a few. I mean, Bunny Wailer.
Yeah.
There's several artists that come from St. Ann. St. Ann is known as the Garden Parish of Jamaica.
All right. Okay.
But there's several artists that come from St. Ann.
So, all right. So you're playing the guitar. You've gone to school and everything, and you've got the band. When did you say, right, this is something I really want to do? Did you see yourself as a musician only, or was it a hobby?
It's funny because I don't think I ever saw myself as a musician only. I was always involved, as I said, because I started in music from young. I was introduced to music at an early age. By the time I went to school, the school I went to had a very musical background. They had a very good music studio and music rehearsal rooms and stuff like that, and they had good music teachers. And so there was a good opportunity. I mean, we had an orchestra. The school had an orchestra, a 40-piece orchestra. So, and steel band. So I was involved in the orchestra, playing guitar section, and I also played in the steel band. And we was quite prominent back in those days because we actually featured on ITV, and I was like 13 years old when I first.
Really? That's impressive. Yeah. So, was it just all right? So you're saying you talked about orchestra, school band, and so on. So I'm guessing it wasn't just reggae.
No, the orchestra used to play basically traditional orchestral music, but we used to play also popular music because my music teacher, she was the first person to amalgamate a steel band and an orchestra. We actually performed in Westminster Cathedral and toured up across the UK as well, performing. So because of the uniqueness of what our school was presenting, we were televised back in around about 1978, 79, around about that time, and televised again later on in about 1980. Yeah.
So how did you feel when that was happening? Because you're going to school and you're getting all this exciting news and
it was exciting because you had the ITV cameras down and you was there for the whole day. There was like the edit, and you saw how everything went together, how they piece bars of music together. They would film a section to a certain bar, then film another section to a certain bar, and they would repeat certain other sections. So it was like, this is the first time you're seeing how TV people play music, film music, I say, and film pieces, and then you see all together on TV. It takes they spend like a few hours there, near the whole day, and they piece it all together, and it's all run together in different slides and shots in a couple of minutes. I learned a lot from those experiences, having like the ITV cameras come in and film us, as a part of a orchestral unit. I also used to play with a lovers rock band called Decision at the time as well at school. My next question was going to be, how did the reggae come in? How did you get that reggae connection? The reggae connection is also through my father differently, because when I was a youth and my dad used to have his friends around and friends and relatives around, like on a Friday evening, and traditional, we play domino and have a little drink.
Yeah, that's right.
So that was our thing. While that was happening, my dad would say to me, play some tune for Mandem. So I would sit on the floor and in Greenwich record box, and I'd be spinning 7 inches while they was entertaining. So that's how I got my knowledge through reggae, because I then started to get my knowledge with the labels, the Trojan, Buddha One, Blue Mountain label, Attack label. And so I started to learn about certain artists and labels from early age, by about 10 years old. I was going to say, how old were you? 10 years old. So 10 years old, you were literally a DJ. You were I was spinning through.
A mini DJ.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So from 10 years old, so you got your knowledge, and that comes over a few years. So what happens after that? After school and the orchestra and the TV recording?
After school and all of that, when I get a bit older, then you was encouraged, because music was never seen to be at that time, especially from our parents, as a serious profession.
That's right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we was encouraged to get a profession. So after leaving school, I went to college and I studied electronics and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to work for British Telecom as an engineer, and other jobs in I'm still a technician now. I still work as a engineer now.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to college and I got myself higher education,
right,
in order to be able to hold down a decent job.
Yeah.
So I was always career minded at the same time, to make sure that I could, be successful differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I never initially had a thought, I want to do music full time.
Mm-hmm.
That did actually come. I thought way back in round about 92, I was working for British Telecom, and I was thinking, I was doing a lot of musical work at the same time, because we was touring.
Yeah.
And I was doing a lot of music work, and it was clashing with work.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was thinking to myself, well, I would like to do this full time. So it was in my late teens, 20s, that I started to think about, I want to do this full time. Mm-hmm. But initially, from leaving school, I was thinking, I like music, and I want to be a part of me, and be a part of it. But I was more interested in having a trade.
Yes.
Because that's how I was raised. You must have a trade.
That's right. Yep.
Right? So that was my goal, to have a trade and learn an important skill which can carry me through life. And I have to admit, I'm glad I did do that, because those skills have and education have helped me carry me through life.
So now I was gonna say, when was your first, what would you call your official gig? Your first official
gig? The first gig I ever did was on a school platform.
Mm-hmm.
About a long time ago, around 78, 79.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I probably first on stage with a full band.
Yeah.
It was they had a school fashion show.
Right.
At the time. Right. And they used our band to be part of the act as part of the fashion show. Between, so they had the fashion show, then you had the act, like an interval, and then they carried on with the rest of the show. So that was the first time I performed with a band, a full band. That was Decision at the time, back in about 78, 79.
Okay.
On stage.
Right. So, were you always? Well, all right. So you were with a band. I'm trying to sort of lead up to how you got that connection to the lovers rock reggae scene, because you're known as a guitarist. You're known as a very well known guitarist, and you're hired on that wise. Yeah. So when did you leave the band? Because you started off with the band, didn't you?
The band kind of the band, after a while, maybe dissolved. Everybody got older and had different interests, and you see, basically after a while, there wasn't any kind of major success with the band, and people have to get in the other interests, and then the band kind of fell apart. So so that was my first band I played with, and then in early 80s, like I said, about in the early 80s, then we kind of ended.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me. I'm just asking because you are a quiet man. I can tell that you're a quiet man. You're not one to not loud like me because I feel loud right now. How would you describe your personality? What's your personality like?
Well, I am a quiet person. I am a quiet person. I'm a deep, I'd say, a conscientious person. I like tranquility and humility.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I like harmonious environment. I like to have a harmonious environment.
Right.
I like to be in positive, nurturing people.
Yeah.
And I like to be optimistic. I don't like pessimism.
Yeah.
Pessimistic. That's basically roughly me. And I find myself, I like to be dedicated in what I do. So, and dependable. So it's very rarely will someone call me to do something and I not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Right. So normally there must be something really serious why I can't do that. Especially if I give my word to do it and I say yes. Once I say yes, I say yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's me.
So all right. Apart from music, which is your passion, what are your interests? What is likely to get you to say, right, I really want to do this? Or is it reading? What do you do? Your leisure time, your pastime.
I mean, my pastime is some kind of music still, but I do like to watch the movie from time to time. I mean, I'm into my audio visual, so I have a decent audio visual setup in my home. So if I do decide to watch a movie, I can feel like I'm in the cinema and feel the whole vibe. So I'm into my audio visual.
Yeah. I can see one of the speakers behind you.
Yeah, was one of the real announcements. Right? So yeah, so I do like to watch the odd movie now and again, and I like to relax. I like to watch sport as well. I like to watch track.
Which sport do you like?
Yeah, well, I like track and field. I'm watching
athletics.
Athletics and stuff like that. I do watch, and I like to watch athletics.
Yeah. I
enjoy good game of cricket when the West Indies are playing well, not so much when they're not playing well.
Yeah.
But so I do enjoy cricket and boxing.
Yeah.
I like sports. I like to watch sports.
Okay.
And some football as well.
Yeah. So, all right. So we're coming on to the Reggae Connection now, the hardcore Reggae Connection. How did that come about?
Just being in the right place at the right time, really. I mean, I always loved, I was raised on reggae music differently. When I was young. Yes. So that was already, before I knew myself, I was listening to ska and rocksteady before I even knew myself, you know? By the time I was whatever age, it was already in me. Yeah. So, as I said, I was playing my dad's set radiogram and stuff like that by the 8, 9, 10, you know?
Wow.
So just the vibes of playing music, like albums and 7-inches at that age, and what was going on in the home at that, you know, that kind of made you. I had a real enjoyment for reggae music at the time because of what it brought to the home and what it meant. And obviously, in the early 70s to mid 70s, some of the best reggae music was created, and I was growing up in that time.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where the Reggae Connection really came from.
Yeah. But how did it come about that you started to play guitar?
Well, I used to frequent after school, after finishing school, should I say, around about in the early 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, 80, 81, them kind of thing. I used to go down to Donovan Court where Rough Cut used to be in
Yeah.
Stonebridge. As I hang out there and listen to them play and listen to other artists play. I used to also, when BBMC just got together in Wilson, Brent Music Cooperative, I used to hang out there and I used to jam down there also.
Okay.
So there used to be a whole lot of artists and musicians we used to flow through BBMC. So you had an opportunity to jam regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so, and being in the right place at the time, and people knew that you play guitar. If they found out you play guitar, there's high likely someone would ask you to do a session.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm back in the 80s. I remember being asked, just because I had my guitar in my hand, to do a session at Easy Street Studios. You know, so just by walking with my guitar in my hand, someone said, you can play that?
Okay.
How long you've been playing? A few years. You must be good then. It's just like that. And, you know, session I'm on over, man. I need a guitarist. You can do it. And it's how you get drawn in, like that, being at the right place at the right time.
And then it's word of mouth, isn't it? Word of mouth. One person tell another person.
I mean, how I eventually developed into really backing artists differently is, this is still in the 80s, in around about 86. I used to work at a place called Prairie Center.
Yeah.
And we used to jam. I was a tutor down there. I was a guitar tutor at Prairie Center, and I also used to be I used to be responsible for the music room also, and setting up and running the music room. Yeah. While I was there, the singer Vincent Knapp came on there and he met me there. Right? Also, the great drummer and DJ Horseman.
Yes. I like Horseman. I've got a big crush on Horseman. Yeah, carry on.
All right. Also there. And a few other musicians was there. And Vincent Knapp said to me, you want to form a band? So I said, yeah. So we formed a band. The band was called the All Welcome Crew.
The All Welcome Crew, okay. Learning something new today. Yeah, carry on.
All right. So we started as a band, Vincent Knapp on vocals. And in 1987, we recorded the first single what he wrote and rearranged, called Honeysuckle Lady. Right? Okay. And that was recorded using parts of our band, but using Aswad as the backing. So you had drumming Zeb on drums, Tony Pubs on, no, didn't have Tony Pubs on bass. We had drumming Zeb on drums, and we had our bass player, Ricky Bantam playing bass. Yeah. And we had Aswad horn section, Matic 16, which included the well-known Buttons, otherwise known as Henry, and his brother Patrick on with, I think the other horn player was Bani and Tantan. Yeah, so we had basically as a horn section playing on that. Recorded at BBMC, by the way. Yeah. Live recorded at BBMC. Yeah. That's a famous place, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's a famous place. Yeah. Yeah. You know. So from there, the band started to get from strength to strength, and we started to back artists as opposed to just having our own. We had our own act with Vincent Knapp as lead vocal, but you know, we started to play on the same platform as Rough Cut, and there was one. I forgot the name now, but basically we started playing on the same platforms as Rough Cut, and we used to intertwine and intermix as well. So it was all like one big family. So, now I was going to say, where did the name Naturalist come from? That came from the keyboard player. We was in Simba. I used to also go to Simba in Acton. Yeah, right. Right. We used to rehearse down there also, but we used to have singing classes down there, right? And we used to rehearse down there. One of the rehearsals, the keyboard player, his name is Ryan, and due to people used to call me, see me as a kind of a cool character in my demeanor.
Yeah.
Right? And I was always well dressed. Right? So one day the keyboard player, they said, "Oh, if you name Naturalist, right?"
Naturalist.
Obviously, yeah, referring to being a top-notch kind of thing. So
yeah.
So, Naturalist, you for name, So, but I didn't use the term, but it stuck with me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? It kind of stuck with me, and that's where the name was born, right? By the keyboard player, just calling me that on the day. I just randomly, just like that. That's where the name came from.
And so that you've incorporated it into your music now, the name. Yeah. So okay, so there, as I read at the beginning of the interview, there's a lot of names that you have collaborated with, that you've been on the stage with. Is there any one highlight? Any that you can say?
I mean, Alternatives in particular was always great working with him.
Yeah.
I've told it, Michael Rose, we went Europe.
Yeah.
Holland, Geneva, Switzerland. And we did the Essentials Festival in Bristol, I think back in '96.
Yeah.
Touring with Michael Rose was fun, and that particular show in Bristol was a nice milestone. It was about 12 years before prior. Yeah. His last performance in the UK.
Yeah.
So we took our welcome crew back in Michael Rose on that day. We kind of took that show. He wasn't a headline act, but he went down as a headline act. So alternately, Ken Booth as well. I mean, working with Ken Booth was a dream. I remember the first time Vinton up phoned me and said, you get back Ken Booth. Ken Booth was like a musical icon for me anyway.
Yes.
Growing up, I had the album and everything on our album. When I said me, my dad had the album, and the album I used to play, and that album produced by Lloyd Chalmers, has some ridiculous talent music on it. It's a really fantastic album. So it's something that registered with me when I was a youth. I never ever thought that I'd play that as a youth and then get to back the legend Ken Booth. And I remember getting a phone call saying, we have a show with Ken Booth. Right? And it's funny, I was the MD for the band, and there was no music sent to us to learn. But I have quite a few Ken Booth material at home, and I put together my own list. And I remember the first show was in Bradford, and that's the first time Ken Booth wasn't at the rehearsal or anything. He just turned up on the day of the show backstage and said, "I'm Ken Booth," and he looked at the list and said, "Yeah, that list is all right, but I want to put this tune at the top and put this tune." And he decided he wanted to merge a little medley at the front. It was Nature Planned it into Crying Over You, and he didn't used to perform Nature Planned it, but I thought the Nature Planned had to be re-released in England a couple of years before, and it was thin out the place. And I thought, you cannot not call me not do Nature Planned it. So, and he saw it and he said, yeah, because it doesn't normally open with it, so we did it in Bradford. The next show was which was like the following week. So the Bradford show was almost like a dress rehearsal. The following week, Brixton Academy, and that was with Jimmy Cliff. Right. So
you played on the stage with Jimmy Cliff?
I did. I toured. We went on tour. Going back a few years before, I actually toured with support with Jimmy Cliff with Josie Wales and Nick
impressive. Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So we was on the same tour. So that was part of the tour. So the UK leg of the tour when with Jimmy Cliff over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we opened the show with Nature Planned It, and the place absolutely tore down. Without shut it down, basically. You know?
Yeah.
So that's another, working with Ken Booth was another highlight, one of the best shows I've done in Brixton Academy. I've done a couple of shows there at Brixton with Ken Booth Academy, but that one at Brixton Academy with Jimmy Cliff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a murder with charge for. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got a few highlights there that, you know, I knew it would be difficult for you to pick one because it must be some great experiences that you've had.
Yeah, I mean, I also toured extensively with Max Romeo.
Okay.
All over Europe with the Charmax band.
Yeah.
You know, which incorporated Diane on bass from BBMC, who runs BBMC now.
I know Diane. Yeah, Diana Black. Yeah.
And Caroline on keyboards.
And Caroline, yeah.
So we toured extensively with Max Romeo. So there's quite a few highlight shows over there because we played some serious shows on our road where in front of thousands and thousands of people in those big festivals, you know, especially all across France and stuff like that. Because there's plenty of festivals across France and Spain and Holland and all over basically. You know, so touring with Max Romeo is also a good highlight as well. There's quite a few.
There's quite a few. Exactly. That would be probably another interview altogether, isn't it?
Another interview altogether. Yeah. On the road.
Yeah.